The film opens with a solemn ritual, a sacred sacrifice unfolding before us. A shadowy, towering figure approaches the trembling girl, her fear palpable. From this dark silhouette emerges a magnificent dragon. But this sacrifice, it's no mere offering, it's a trap set to lure the dragon in and seal it away forever. Armed with 3 sacred relics, they believe this will end the beast's reign. Yet fate has other plans. Just as everything seems poised for victory, the father is struck by an arrow, weakening rapidly. Despite this, he urges his wife and son to continue the sealing ritual, desperate to prevent further disaster. But the prison cage shatters under the dragon's fury. The sacred mirror meant to bind it breaks. The beast turns to attack the son hero, but the father, with a mysterious spell, links the dragon's fate to his boys. Enraged, the dragon unleashes devastation, tearing through everything in its path. Years pass. A young man cloaked in black, wielding a great sword, arrives at a bustling town. This is none other than Hiro, no longer a boy, but a man hardened by time. As he surveys the lively streets, a young girl suddenly appears, casting magic to aid her master, a merchant named Nambu, making a grand entrance. Nambu paints himself as a benevolent soul, tossing coins to the townsfolk. Hiro spots a boy snatching the money and running to his friends, but the leader suspects the cash is stolen. Ill-gotten gains masked by glitter. Still, they're drawn to the girl's magic, knowing she can grant wishes. That chubby kid sneaks into Nambo's carriage, while his friends are distracted unnoticed at first. Nambo quickly senses the intrusion but holds back. Nearby, an old knight recounts his ancestors' dragon-slaying feats, brandishing a family's dragon-slaying insignia. Hiro recognizes it instantly. Suddenly, a boy snatches the insignia, but he's swiftly caught by a giant man. Hiro draws his sword to confront them, but the knight feigns injury, claiming he's the victim of theft. Hiro calms the scene, paying a gold coin to settle it. Though saved by Hiro, the boy shows no gratitude. Their group had planned a trap to steal money, but Hiro ruined their scheme, and they even stole the insignia. Back at their hideout, Hiro tracks them down and reclaims the emblem. Introducing himself, he demands the leader's name, Tommy. He wants the stolen item returned. Tommy refuses, sparking a playful chase through the town. Amid this chase, a rugged man with wild eyes arrives, accompanied by a talking dragon searching for Hiro. Meanwhile, the merchant negotiates with the local lord, wary of stirring unrest among the people. Nambuo asserts his dominance, showing his true power, and reminding the lord who holds the upper hand. He even tempts the lord with a precious gem, dangling a lucrative deal. Just as the deal seems sealed, the boy from earlier stealthily steals the gem, but is quickly caught by Hiro. The chase across rooftops continues breathless and wild. One of the boys slips, tumbling down, forcing Hiro to rush to his rescue. When the gang hears their captured comrade faces, execution panic sets in. They rush desperately to save him. The next morning, the boy stands on the brink of punishment, surrounded by friends who feel powerless to intervene. The weight of the moment presses down. Will loyalty and courage be enough to turn the tide? Hiro was told he'd handle things himself. He wanted to live up to the name Hiro the Hero. So he stepped forward to demand the release of the captive, only to be surrounded and attacked by soldiers. He didn't draw his sword at first. Then, when he finally did, it was all just flashy swings without a single strike landing. Seriously, it looked like Hiro's hometown was a total joke. Surrounded and overwhelmed, he was forced to back down and seek peace. Just then, a man with wild eyes appeared, calling Hiro young master, while the kids froze, trying to rescue their friend trapped above. The merchant's magical girl decided it was time to unleash her trump card. Hiro recognized the stone she wielded. It was the very gem from his father's staff. He tried to reclaim it, knowing its importance, but the girl fired a spell at him, only for it to bounce back. Beneath their feet, the shadow of a dragon emerged, the very same dragon that had vanished long ago. Its survival was a mystery, linked by an ancient bond with Hiro. This continent, once ruled by swords and sorcery, was home to 3 great nations locked in balance until the dragon's return shattered peace, bringing devastation to all 3. The dragon's mark glowed on both sides, igniting Hiro's fury as memories surged forth. He charged, desperate to attack, but the beast was too powerful, easily flinging him aside. The humans tried shooting arrows, but they were mere pinpricks. Some stray arrows even landed near Hiro's group. Suddenly, the dragon shielded them, confusing everyone. Rampaging through the city, the dragon rampaged until it deemed its destruction sufficient, then vanished. Nambuo, energized by fear for the first time in a decade, believed the dragon's return was an omen tied to him. He ordered his men to pack up and retreat to their territory. Meanwhile, Hiro remained unconscious and Jiru, his uncle, had to explain the past to the kids. Years ago, Hiro's parents chose the land between the three nations as a sealing ground. No country wanted the burden, so they sacrificed that zone. Everyone thought the dragon had been sealed away, but only Jiru and Hiro knew the truth. Hiro's parents and 100 powerful priests were burned alive by hellfire, leaving even the highest magic powerless to revive them. Hiro woke determined to slay the dragon he had trained so long for. For 5 years he'd studied swordsmanship under Jiru, but progress was slow. Yet here he was, ready to face the evil dragon. He asked where Nambuo lived, wanting the stone back. It was a family heirloom and key to resealing the beast. Tommy told him Nambuo was an arms dealer who thrived on conflict, using power to dominate wherever he went. With his target clear, Hiro set out. The talking dragon followed Jiru, demanding Hiro return money he had taken. Hiro gave back the gold, except one large coin missing. He claimed it was spent buying a badge, but the dragon saw through the fake emblem and threw a tantrum. Before the dragon's fury could escalate, Hiro and Jiru fled. Nambuo's magical girl, realizing she'd been left behind, summoned her master with a spell. She had orders to find Hiro. His involvement was tied to the dragon's return. Back with Hiro's group, they wanted to find a restaurant, but were turned away due to the morning's chaos. A beast girl named Erin directed them to a place they could go. While eating, Erin casually asked about the dragon, and learned who Hiro's father was, making the group a bit wary. She didn't pry further, knowing there was little point. After introducing herself as Erin, she left, and the group had to cover her share of the bill. Palu, the talking dragon, was annoyed money was tight, and they couldn't afford to hire a summon. So, they decided to stay the night at Tommy's place. Tommy was reluctant, but the chubby kid insisted, grateful for Hiro's rescue. In the middle of the night, while everyone slept, Jiru was quietly sharpening his sword. Tommy panicked, thinking there was a murder underway, but it was just Jiru preparing breakfast. After eating, Jiru wanted to stay longer to train Hiro in swordsmanship. Chasing Nambuo without skill meant certain death from the beasts outside. Tommy objected. They had agreed to stay only one night. Hiro bargained if Jiru cooked every day they could stay. Reluctantly, they agreed. First up, training against slimes. The slimes were harmless, but fast, constantly sticking to Hiro's face. He couldn't land a hit and blamed his small sword. Jiru said this was the perfect size for practice and tossed it aside, telling Hiro to learn on his own before going hunting for money. Hiro trained a while, then complained the slimes were too weak to help. Value explained they could only afford to pay with slime rewards. Hiro spotted an earth dragon behind them and asked its price. The old man told stories of how they didn't realize it was behind them until it was too late. Hiro jumped and swung at the dragon, but it barely flinched. Instead, the dragon bowed and opened its mouth, revealing a girl inside. She thanked the dragon, then approached Hiro, inviting him along. When Hiro asked where she wanted to take him, her reply was cryptic: to the depths of your heart. She introduced herself as Sarah and complimented Hiro's eyes, saying they harbored a dragon within. Jiru returned from hunting and was puzzled by Sarah's odd behavior, picking up stones and talking to them. The group decided it was best to avoid her and slipped away quietly. Though Jiru was indifferent, Hiro couldn't stop thinking about Sarah and refused to eat. Tommy teased him, reminding Hiro that just days ago he was ready to fight and now he was acting love-struck. Hiro denied it fiercely, but seemed to care because Sarah looked lonely. Tommy's advice was simple: don't do anything stupid just because of a girl. Meanwhile, Nambuo's agents questioned townsfolk relentlessly, trying to find Hiro. They planned to use a magic mirror to speed the search, but it showed no sign of him. Sarah happened to pass by at that moment. Nambuo instructed his scientists to develop new weapons to fuel the war, unaware the scientist had ties to Sarah. Sarah eventually found Hiro's location. Tommy teased Hiro about postponing revenge to have time for romance. Hiro insisted they were just friends, but it seemed the story would leave Sarah behind for now. Tommy didn't want to interfere and gave his blessing for whatever was to come. Hizo was teased so much that he had to drag Sarah away to another spot. Meanwhile, Jiru went hunting early this morning and managed to catch 3 wolves, but the reward was meager. Hizo returned to train with the salamanders alongside Sarah, but progress was slow. Frustrated, he sat down to rest when, suddenly, he and Sarah spotted a wolf much bigger than the three Jiru hunted. That wolf slashed at Hizo, but its true target was Sarah. As Hizo rushed over, the wolf turned its attack on him. It lunged, but Hizo managed to strike back just in time. When he opened his eyes, he realized he had defeated the wolf. Sarah's eyes had changed color. She woke up saying she had dozed off, but saw Hizo was injured, so she used her healing magic to mend his wounds. Miraculously, she even repaired his torn shirt. After exchanging the wolf for money, Hizo noticed soldiers capturing people and forcing them into the mines in front of their families. Fueled by a fierce sense of justice, Hizo stepped in. He charged in trying to look cool, dodging several Evig attacks, but in the end, he got hit and dragged away. Even with his bravado, Hizo was thrown into a prison cell, feeling bitter not only for losing his sword, but also the money. Nearby, a female subordinate of Nambuo heard the news and set out to rescue Tommy. Sneaking into the Lord's mansion, she found Sarah mysteriously already inside. Inside the cell, Hizo rallied everyone to keep hope alive and find a way to escape, though most had already given up. With no other choice, he used a fake badge to break through the wall. Just then, the Lord noticed noises from his vault and opened it only to find it had been broken into. Tommy had stolen the ledger, revealing the Lord's debts to the king, using it to blackmail him for their release. But the Lord remained unfazed. His soldiers appeared restraining Tommy. At that moment, Jiru arrived to break the siege and save Tommy. Grabbing the ledger back, Tommy threatened the Lord again, forcing him to free Hizo and the rest of the prisoners. Though they almost broke through a hole in the wall, it was a narrow miss. Hizo noticed Sarah had arrived too, her mysterious timing always uncanny. Their eyes met, and Tommy joked that Hizo must be in love. Nambuo's men arrived shortly after, furious to hear the Lord had released the prisoners. Families were reunited and the group was escorted home. Hizo decided he must defeat the evil dragon once and for all. Only then could his parents truly rest in peace. Later, Tommy pondered his own family, while Hizo called him in for dinner. Now, Tommy felt he had found a complete family. Outside, Eren kept a watchful eye on Hizo's group. The next morning, Jiru returned from somewhere preparing breakfast for everyone. Hizo criticized the food, but seeing the kids happily eating, he softened. Jiru announced he would train Hizo privately, leaving Sarah at home. Yet Sarah insisted on tagging along, so Hizo gave her a gold coin to go enjoy herself elsewhere. Sarah went for a stroll and met Eren, who planned to take her somewhere special. Meanwhile, Hizo faced the salamanders again, sick of their nonsense, as he hadn't yet landed a proper hit. He told Jiru to go hunting and trained on his own. Eren led Sarah to a healing spring true to its name, promising restoration. Eren invited Sarah to bathe together, an excuse to extract information from her. Meanwhile, Tommy held a reward notice for whoever caught the monster near the spring. Hizo's father hoped Jiro would capture it to ease their financial worries, but Hizo was growing tired of this training routine. Jiro admitted frankly that even with the sealing stone, Hizo's skills still weren't enough to win. If not even 100 Taoist priests could defeat the evil dragon, what chance does someone like you, still grasping the basics, have? You're stubborn and reckless with your training, so don't even dream of avenging your master. Hearing this, Hizo's anger ignited. He charged at Jiru. Meanwhile, Eren tried to coax Sarah into revealing information about Hizo, but Sarah held back, unable to share anything meaningful. Sarah almost slipped up by nearly mentioning Hizo's name, forcing Eren to cover for her, since a subordinate of Nambuko was nearby. Sarah barely escaped overhearing and rushed over to ask Eren questions. Eren skillfully steered the conversation, keeping their secret safe. Eren wondered why so few came to bathe by the lake. The other girl revealed there was a monster, awakened near the lake, though she didn't care much. That monster, however, was stirring awake. Hizo kept getting knocked back repeatedly. Jiru noticed Hizo's thoughts about defeating the monster, and the power sealed within the stone. Jiru's words struck a nerve, enraging Hizo. This time, he attacked with full force. Jiru took a sneaky hit and accidentally wounded Hizo. Bar and Tommy arrived and scolded Jiru, but he insisted they head to the healing spring. Nambuko's soldiers were already waiting nearby, anticipating their arrival, drawn by the bounty. At that moment, they learned the other girl's name was Sari. While chatting with two other girls, Sari spotted Jiru's group, but heard no sign of Hizo, assuming he wasn't there. Jiro explained that the heavy injury he inflicted was a test to see if Hizo was serious about revenge. Being near the healing spring also meant a chance for stricter training. If possible, they could hunt monsters for the bounty. Eren tried to distract Sari to hide her acquaintance with Hizo, but both sides strained to listen closely. Neither caught a hint of Hizo's presence, so Sari thought he wasn't around. Sari revealed she came here searching for Hizo. She nearly spilled the secret, but Eren once again covered for her, even pushing each other into the lake to distract. Meanwhile, Nambuko's soldiers prepared an ambush near the spring. Hizo, just waking, spoke loudly enough for the two beast girls to overhear. Jiro admitted he had misjudged Hizo's resolve and decided to change his training methods. The monster Sari had set up was starting to emerge. Soldiers tried to awaken it fully. Jiro grew anxious, unsure if the monster would appear to earn them money. Then it burst out. The strange monster surprised everyone by grabbing Sari instead of targeting Hizo despite Sari's command. Eren realized this was Sari's ploy and quickly fled. The uncontrollable beast rampaged wildly, even tossing Sari aside. Jiro dashed off, grabbed his sword, and returned to strike the monster down. Hizo found Sari still clutching the coin he had given her. After the fight, they realized the bounty was a scam, but the strange tentacles had a unique flavor that sold well to nobles, so they still earned something. The group was a bit downhearted hearing Hizo's team would soon leave, losing their chance for good meals. The next day, Tommy decided to join Hizo's group. He said he wanted to help Hizo obtain the sealed stone and change the world. Shortly after they encountered Eren again, who also wished to follow since she knew Nambuko's location. Hizo agreed to let her tag along. Negotiations succeeded, and their group gained another member. On the journey, Hizo acted overly confident, behaving like the boss of the whole crew, which annoyed everyone. Eren wanted to figure out the true value of the magic stone on the market. Palu noticed Eren was serious about following them, but still didn't understand her real intentions. Hizo was so focused forward that he didn't watch his step and fell into a pit, making the whole group sigh in frustration. Namo, meanwhile, learned of Hizo's group's location through a spy bird. He ordered someone to pass this info to Sari and noticed the market price for magic stones was rising sharply just as he had planned. Along the way, the group enjoyed breathtaking scenery, from waterfalls crowned with rainbows to fruits they could gather for food. Tommy had thought the outside world would be harsh and dry, but it was full of fascinating surprises. Hizo showed impressive travel experience and told Tommy to ask him anything, which only made Tommy dislike his arrogance more. Suddenly, Nambuko's spybird swooped down to attack. Everyone scattered to hide. Hizo tried to show off by charging, but was useless. Jiro had to step in and carry him away. Jiro advised setting up camp in the forest for the night, where dense trees would block the birds' attacks. Hizo boasted he'd keep watch, telling everyone to relax. At night, Jiro cooked while Hizo acted like the big boss. Jiro grew worried because Sarah, who had gone for water, hadn't returned. Hizo volunteered to look for her, but found Eren playing the lute first. Eren showed him where Sarah was. Hizo asked why Eren wanted to follow them. She said she sold information to earn money and hinted she wanted to turn him into some amazing guy, but wouldn't share her true motives. Hizo didn't press further and went to find Sarah. Meanwhile, Namo was busy selling weapons to a dwarf tribe to fight another nation, while secretly contacting that nation to sell weapons against the dwarves too. Later, he summoned Sari and gave her one last chance to capture Hizo. If she failed, she was to leave and never speak of him again. She joked about his spybird, but Namo was no fool. His stern glare silenced her. That day, Hizo switched from acting like a subordinate to a general. Eren noticed the market price for magic stones had truly risen. Sari used the spybird to track Hizo's group's movements. Normally, she would block their path immediately, even summoning 3 golems for backup. Still, no one could grasp why she trailed them, her true purpose shrouded in mystery. Hizo, lost in his own world, walked without watching his steps and plunged into a deep CT pit, leaving the group to only sigh in exasperation. Namo, meanwhile, uncovered Hizo's location through a spybird and sent word to Sari. At the same time, he noticed the price of magic stones soaring, likely a trap unfolding. Along the journey, the group encountered breathtaking sights. From waterfalls crowned by rainbows to strange fruits ripe for the taking, Tomi had expected a barren wasteland outside, but instead found pockets of wonder. Hizo flaunted his seasoned traveller's wisdom and told Tomi to ask if he had questions. Tomi's irritation with Hizo's arrogant airs only deepened. Suddenly, Nambuko's spybird dove in a fierce attack. Everyone scattered, but Hizo charged recklessly, achieving nothing but forcing Jiru to step in. Jiru urged them to set camp in the dense forest tonight, where the thick canopy would block the bird's attacks. Ever the show-off, Hizo boasted that with him guarding, they had nothing to fear. As night fell, Jiru cooked their meal, while Hizo struck a grand pose. But worry crept in when Sara sent to fetch water didn't return. Hizo volunteered to search, only to find Erin calmly playing her lute. Erin first pointed out where Sara had gone, then, when asked why she followed them, gave a vague answer she sold information for money, and hinted at wanting to make Hizo the greatest man alive without revealing her true motives. Hizo didn't press further, and dashed off to find Sara. Meanwhile, Namo was busy trading weapons with a dwarf tribe, all the while secretly selling arms to their enemies, a dangerous double game. He summoned Sari, giving her a final ultimatum capture. Hizo or be gone. She joked about her spybird, but Namo's dark glare silenced the levity. Today, Hizo switched from his usual carefree attitude to a commanding general's demeanour. Erin noticed the Magic Stone market price had truly spiked. Sari, using her spybird, tracked Hizo's group and moved to block their path, summoning 3 towering golems for backup. Hizo charged forward, but unlike before, he was struck down by a lightning strike. Jiru couldn't come to his aid, blocked by the golems. So he leapt and stabbed one in the eye, taking it down, but 2 remained. Sari unleashed an ice spell, splitting Hizo's sword in 2. Palu had to call for magical evacuation services to carry away those too injured to fight. Hizo was left to face the storm alone. Jiru defeated 1 golem, but was caught by Sari's binding magic as he rushed to save his master. She threatened to execute Jiru right before Hizo's eyes, igniting his fury and helplessness. Suddenly, the mark on Hizo's body glowed fiercely. Dark energy swirled around him, his nails sharpened to claws and eyes blazed crimson. Soldiers fell beneath Hizo's wrath, leaving only their leader and Sari trembling in fear. Terrified, Sari teleported away just as Hizo lunged, but his energy drained and he returned to normal, powerless. She vanished before he could reach her. Confused and drained, Hizo staggered forward until he collapsed, haunted by the violent images swirling in his mind. As he fell, he spotted Nambuko's carriage approaching. Hizo, sensing danger, slipped away into hiding. In that moment of weakness, the past and present collided, a storm of emotions threatening to consume him. What was this dark power awakening inside, and what awaited him beyond the next horizon? The journey was far from over, and the shadows growing within would soon demand their reckoning. All right, but you quickly chased after him, searching for your chance. Meanwhile, Palu was escorting the rest outside to settle the bill. Once done, Palu was abruptly dumped by the service. The 3 of them then found Jiru lying unconscious in a corner and rushed over to check on him. Sarah managed to wake Jiru and asked where Hizo was, but he didn't know. As the group looked down, they saw a line of soldiers defeated by Hio. Meanwhile, Namo was introducing his product to a nobleman. Namo presented a fearsome guardian beast, a fusion of 4 beings, and then instructed the doctor to activate a machine. The device glowed intensely before merging all 4 entities into a horrifying hybrid monster. It charged toward the noblewoman, terrifying her to the core, but Nambuko's forces swiftly and expertly dealt with the creature. This tactical monster, born from Nambuko's dark magic, was a terrifying weapon indeed. From afar, Hizo witnesses this scene, his heroic spirit flaring up. He steps out, declaring himself a swordsman and a champion of justice. He cannot stand Nambuko's actions. Reaching for his sword, he suddenly realizes it's not there. Determined, he fights barehanded, but is swiftly defeated by Nambuko. Captured, he's interrogated about the Dark Dragon resurrection, but Hizo boldly demands Nambuko return the sealed stone. Instead, Nambuko sends Hizo back to Jiru. Jiru traces Hizo's footprints and follows Nambuko, who cares little for the noblewoman, except for her wealth, which funds his experiments. Surprisingly, he doesn't punish Sarah. Instead, he pays her to distribute resources to his subordinates. Meanwhile, Jiru observes the fused monster and realizes Nambuo has likely captured Hiro. Hiro is on the brink of torture, forced to divulge secrets about the Dark Dragon as Nambuo plans to unleash chaos to boost weapon sales. Just as Nambuo is about to act, the noblewoman returns, causing a commotion that forces him to pause and attend to her demands. Hizo exhales deeply and starts plotting his escape. He notices the chains on his ankles loosen and manages to free his feet. Using a hidden badge concealed in his shoe, he cuts through the ropes binding his hands. The doctor notices Sarah nearby and seeks her out. Entering Hiro's room, he smells Sarah's scent on Hizo and questions him about her condition. Hizo assures him Sarah is safe, though they are separated. The doctor probes further and learns about Sarah's fascination with Hizo's heartbeat. When he listens, he senses Hizo's heart isn't truly his own. He suspects fate has intertwined their paths and uses Sarah as leverage to help Hizo escape. He warns that staying would mean more interrogation for both Hizo and Sarah. Handing Hizo a vial, he explains it will lead him to Sarah if he focuses on her. After drinking it, Hizo is transported right to Sarah's side. He urges everyone to flee this place first and save their reunion for later. Meanwhile, Nambuo returns to find the doctor calmly seated. The doctor reveals he let Hiro escape out of concern for Sarah, whom Nambuo had ordered him to eliminate. Unable to carry out such cruelty, the doctor disobeys Nambuo repeatedly, though Nambuo can't afford to kill him yet, needing his expertise. Nambuo warns the doctor about the danger if Hiro discovers Sarah's true identity. This threat clearly unsettles the doctor. After their escape, the group temporarily shelters in an abandoned mine. Sarah detects the doctor's scent on Hiro and reveals that the doctor is actually her father. Jiru also suspects this truth. End of segment. The theory the doctor mentioned about your heart not really being yours, it's wild. He suspects that not only could that dragon's heart not belong to it, but that Hiro and the dragon might have actually swapped hearts. After all, that dragon once shielded Hiro from a hail of arrows fired by soldiers. Maybe it was really protecting its own heart through him. Hiro wasn't quite ready to believe it, but Jiru seemed certain of this deduction. It's possible that your father swapped both your hearts to protect you from the dragon. Hiro seems to have understood this deeply now, knowing that if one of you weakens, so does the other. If the dragon dies, you die too. The power you wielded before, that rage, that terror, that bitter hatred, they fueled your transformation into a dragon. If you seek vengeance for your parents, be prepared to perish alongside the dragon. Still, Jiru remains unsure whether you truly die if the dragon is destroyed. Unable to accept this harsh truth, Hiro dashed away. Jiru urged him back inside to escape the heat, but it barely helped. Palu tried calming him by recalling old times, though. Hiro thought Palu was just trying to soothe him. Palu was really sharing something deeper. Whenever Hiro felt sorrow, frustration, or pain, he would squat and turn his back from the moment Hiro angered him until his parents passed. Even when sword skills failed, Hiro would sit and cry. It was at that moment Palu revealed that Jiru had been studying magic for 10 years to help uncover the truth for Hiro. By day, Jiru taught swordsmanship, but by night he quietly studied magic alone, a man who devoted his life to the blade, suddenly embracing sorcery, all to support Hiro. You need to appreciate Jiru more and stop arguing with him. Your father entrusted you to Jiru and Palu's care, so even if there's a dragon inside you, protecting you remains their sacred duty. Enlightened Hiro regained his confidence, believing that if he could find the sealed orb, he might be able to swap hearts back. They set off again, but Eren mysteriously vanished somewhere along the way. Tommy asked Hiro about the dragon-powered form, but Hiro didn't know much about it. Suddenly, they were spotted by Sari's lookout. Sari wanted to send someone to capture Hiro immediately. Even without Nambuko's orders, she craved glory to win his favor. The group reached an abandoned village where Jiru seemed to glimpse memories from the past and froze. As they searched the ruins, Jiru kept seeing haunting images. He recalled that his father was once a monster, and his mother a human. Both were imprisoned after villagers blamed his mother for provoking an attack. Before execution, his father told Jiru to live well and be a good person. His parents were executed right before his eyes. Shaken from the memory, reality set back in. No clues were found except Tommy, who discovered some bodies and a monster. Jiru looked at Hiro and remembered when Hiro's father found him and brought him home. Before he could process anything, Tommy shouted for everyone to flee. The monster charged out, revealed as a hybrid creature created by Nambuko. Everyone was enraged, especially Jiru and Hiro. Jiru instinctively drew his sword but forgot his role. He was hit and thrown aside as the beast lunged toward Hiro. Tommy shouted for Hiro to transform into his dragon form. Hiro obeyed, shouting wildly like a madman. Of course, this isn't some anime where yelling makes your hair grow and power up, so it didn't help much, and he got smacked. Just in time, Jiru intervened and struck the monster down. Meanwhile, Eren was busy selling information to Nambuko, but when she met him, Sari was locked outside. Eren revealed that the dragon's heart resided within Hiro. After the exchange, Nambuko rewarded Eren with a rare conch shell and revealed he knew Hiro would come looking for the sealed treasure. He planned to wait for Hiro to arrive. Then, he summoned Sari and ordered her to kill Hiro. Eren used the conch shell to listen in on Nambuko's schemes targeting Hiro. The group arrived at a marketplace, their first goal: buy Hiro a new sword and sell the recently hunted monster. The budget manager was stingy and Hiro called him cheap. But the road to Nambuko was long, so money for the journey was a priority. Hiro insisted on a proper sword to look sharp. They searched for an inn first. The landlord mentioned a cafeteria behind the building if they wanted, but Palu said they'd cook their own meals and only pay for beds. Hiro, Jiru and Sarah split off to buy supplies and sell the monster. At the store, Hiro kept picking swords that were too heavy or complex for him. Jiru finally picked out a decent one, and Hiro agreed. On the way back, Sarah noticed a crescent-shaped charm at the shop. The owner offered a discount, but the price of 100 gold pieces was steep. Sarah liked gold coins, so Hiro declined the charm. The owner, frustrated he couldn't make a sale, shooed them away. Meanwhile, Eren bought 5 arrows strong enough to kill a large monster. During dinner, Jiru mentioned a person named Theo, the teacher Hiro's father once spoke of. Sarah said Theo was her friend. This revealed their next destination, finding Theo. After the meal, everyone retired to their rooms, but Hiro and Jiru stayed up late talking. Hiro sensed Jiru was troubled by the village memories. Jiru noticed Hiro's restlessness, suspecting the dragon inside him made sleep impossible. Suddenly, a large shadow attacked a cat outside. Around midnight, explosions rocked the town. Hearing the blasts, Hiro and Jiru rushed out. Villagers saw a dark figure wreaking havoc, smashing houses. No one knew what the shadow was. Reckless as ever, Hiro charged forward, forcing Jiru to follow. They saw a silhouette resembling the dragon, climbing and destroying a windmill, swallowing people whole. The price was steep 100 coins, made Hio wince, but Sarah declared her love for gold coins, making the other item less important. The shop owner, frustrated by no sales, chased JDW away. After buying their gear, the two headed out. Eren picked up 5 arrows each, potent enough to fell a large monster. During their meal, Jiru mentioned a name the doctor had brought up: Theo. Sarah said Theo was her friend, which made everyone realize their next step was clear meat. Theo the teacher. After eating, everyone went to their rooms, but Hitsu and Jiru stayed up late sharing their thoughts. Hizo sensed Jiru's worries about his village, and Jiru noticed Hizo's sleeplessness, suspecting a dragon stirred inside him. Suddenly, a large shadow attacked a cat outside. At midnight, explosions rocked the town. They heard the blasts and hurried outside. Citizens saw a shadow wreaking havoc, smashing houses without mercy. No one knew what the shadow was. Fueled by reckless courage, Hizo charged forward, with Jiru following closely. They saw a shadow resembling a dark dragon rampaging, climbing a windmill and destroying it. The shadow swallowed people whole. Filled with fury, Hizo rushed in. Sarah tried to follow but was stopped by Tommy, warning it was too dangerous. Hizo pushed on, ignoring the risks. Jiru, worried about Hizo's reckless bravado, tried to hold him back but got grabbed by the shadow's grasp. Outside, Sarah realized this wasn't a dragon, but a monster Sari had unleashed to take down Hio. Nambuko was watching everything from the castle. The doctor was relieved Sarah was safe, but Nambuko insisted they focus on Hitsu. Following Nambuko's orders, Sari tried to trap Hizo right there, grabbing her umbrella, but an electric shock repelled her. The doctor tried to intervene, but Nambuko wanted to summon the dark dragon to protect its heart. A spear pierced slightly, and Hio felt death's cold breath. Sari panicked and ordered the monster to attack Hio so she could flee. Jiro tried to help Hizo but got pulled deeper into the shadow's grasp. From afar, Eren shot an arrow to free him. When Hio struck the monster, his power shattered it completely, exploding into nothingness. The ground cracked beneath them as Hio lost control. The dark dragon was summoned. Hio, overwhelmed, swung his sword and accidentally cut Jiro. The dark dragon surfaced and saw 100 fire. Nambuo's command was clear. He wanted to end Hizo right here and now. You saw him reaching out to stop her umbrella, only to be zapped repeatedly by electric shocks. The professor tried to intervene, but Nambuo summoned the dark dragon to shield his heart. Yet a spear pierced slightly, pulling Hizo into the chilling embrace of death. Fear twisted him, and he unleashed the monster to attack, forcing her to flee. Jiro rushed to help Hizo but found himself drawn deeper into the chaos. From afar, Eren shot an arrow to break the grip and free Jiro. The beast struck Hizo once, but his newfound strength shattered the creature into dust with a thunderous boom. The ground began cracking beneath them as Hizo spiraled out of control. The dark dragon was summoned again, but Hizo lost his mind and slashed his sword across Jiro's chest. The dragon slithered in, only to retreat in confusion. Nambuo realized that, to claim the dark dragon, he had to possess Hizo himself. When Hizo regained consciousness, the horror of his actions hit him like a tidal wave, and tears fell freely. Jiro was taken back to the inn to recover a heavy burden on his shoulders to protect this chaotic group. Hizo's guilt was sharp. He turned to Sarah, asking if she could heal him as before. She answered with a somber no. Jiro warned that if these episodes kept happening, Hizo might become a dragon forever, never to return. Their only hope rested with Master Theo. Bar tried desperately to buy medicine from a costly service, but Eren appeared like a sudden storm, revealing a place to find the rare ingredient. The moment the location was mentioned, Hitso and Sarah dashed forward, while Nambuo's plans continued smoothly. Meanwhile, Sari was locked up after being scolded. Tommy found it strange that Sarah never ate while Sari always knew their whereabouts to capture them. He suspected Sarah might be informing the enemy since she was close to the professor, working for Nambuo. The others arrived at the location and began searching for the herb. But precious medicine never comes easy. They encountered a creature resembling a giant frog. As they tried to flee, the frog leapt into the earth itself. They barely escaped before collapsing rain beginning to fall. Sarah found the herb and Hitso excitedly rushed to pick it. Eren hinted at Nambuo's dark schemes, but carefully avoided suspicion. As Hizo reached for the plant, a stone beneath shifted, revealing a stone turtle. Eren shared more secrets about Nambuo with Palu and Tommy. While Hizo struggled to pull the herb from the turtle's shell, he slipped and had to climb back up. The conversation revealed Nambuo's plan, selling weapons to 3 nations and the looming war zone blocking Hizo's path to him. Time was running out, and if they wanted to act, they had to move fast. Hizo finally freed the herb but fell, only to be caught by Sarah. Sarah's smile, the first one Hitso had ever seen from her, felt like a fragile ray of hope. The medicine was given to Jiro. Tommy borrowed Eren's gear to check on their friends. He recounted how the town's children were taken to the mines, poor people starved as food imports stopped, and men drafted away, leaving no workers. Yet Tommy's friends seemed untouched. Valley promised to explain everything after breakfast. By morning, Tommy no longer doubted Sarah. Her emotions had shown her true colours. They set off to find Master Theo. Hitso hesitated, fearing the impending war's urgency, but Jiro insisted that Hizo's fragile body mattered more. Suddenly, Master Theo appeared before them, teasing, "You came without a gift," but then softened, saying it wasn't necessary though. Deep down, he wished it were otherwise. Sarah's hug sparked a flash of frustration across Hiro's face, as if a sudden realization dawned upon him. Jiro, already weary, led them to their master's dwelling. According to him, their mentor often reminisced about his students and endlessly nagged about the impossibility of breaking through. Jiro recounted their story and the reason for their visit. The master demonstrated the soul-devouring flame, a terrifying fire, but, of course, his was a mere illusion causing no real harm. Hiro began to mock him, accusing the master of having such magical power, before yet failing to aid his own parents. The master candidly replied that the dark dragon was like a raging tornado, unstoppable. No wonder, no matter how the young warriors from Garsa tried, they couldn't hold it back. After this, he told Hiro to begin his magic training. Hiro protested, "You're a swordsman. Why bother with magic, Jiru whispered. Just go with it. Maybe you'll pick up something useful. The master was clearly looking for an excuse to thin the ranks, then started their lessons. He instructed Hiro to focus on the crooked line ahead and walk it straight despite its twists and turns. To test his patience, he showed Hiro a drawing of Sarah, which Hiro crumpled and unfolded repeatedly. Meanwhile, Eren used a shell-shaped device like a radio to intercept messages revealing that nations had already plunged into war and pinpointed where the dark dragon would appear. Then came Hiro's turn. After the paper test, the master made him throw a stone. When the stone hit the ground, a flicker of light flashed and vanished. Frustrated, Hiro pushed back, so the master switched to sword training. He conjured a swordless strike which still carried force. He told Hiro to mimic him. Hiro tried, but only the master could see the sword's presence. Hiro felt nothing. Thinking it pointless, the master kept pushing him to practice. As night fell and Jiru returned with dinner, Hiro was still training. Eren and Sarah were awake too, but Sarah was sinking into despair, trapped and isolated from Nambuo. Yet when the soldiers announced the master's arrival, Sarah brightened. That night, after Hiro slept, Jiru confided to the master that Hiro resembled his father, not gifted as a swordsman, but stubborn, with a strong will. Jiru admitted Hiro had trained 10 years, yet remained weak. He revealed why he had devoted so long to magic research to help Hiro, knowing his sword skills lagged, but his magic was promising. Jiru also disclosed that Hiro harbored immense magical power he couldn't fully harness, proven by how long he could carry the dark dragon's heart. During training, Hiro's sword almost struck the master, who raised a magical shield that shattered under the force, an ominous sign of Hiro's latent danger. The master wisely focused only on swordsmanship for now, and gave Hiro one final piece of advice. He also reminded that Hiro and Sarah were inseparable, always side by side. Meanwhile, Namo assigned Sarah another mysterious mission, details unknown. The next morning, frustrated by the training, Hiro considered quitting. The master said if Hiro could land a blow on him with a swordless strike, he would graduate. Hiro swung blindly. Whether it hit or not, the master declared him passed. After they left, the master collapsed, his magical shield broken by Hiro's strike. The group neared Nambuo's location when a bird swooped down. Jiru skillfully intercepted it, but Eren fell, dropping the radio. Nambu's voice came through the radio, exposing Eren as a spy. She no longer hid her identity, and Jiru didn't kill her, knowing he couldn't recover the lost intel. The team left Eren behind. Sarah, following Nambuo's orders, allowed the scientists to merge her with a strange yellow beast that looked like a mangy dog, an experiment with results we will soon witness. That night, the group camped, lighting fires to stave off the desert's brutal cold, sweltering by day but freezing by night. Jiru warned they faced 3 more nights like this. Meanwhile, Nambuo's fake rumor that a nation had captured the Dark Dragon and weaponized it had already ignited war among 3 great powers. The group, parched in the desert, sought an oasis. Palu accidentally fell into a sandpit, calling for help. Jiru gave him a shirt to grab onto, but he was out of reach. Suddenly, a rope and wooden stick were thrown down. It was Eren. Palu initially despised her, but had to swallow pride to accept help. Though the team loathed Eren, they grudgingly relied on her guidance. The third nation was ready to join the battle. Hizo's group was caught in a sandstorm and scattered. Eren found Palu first, Jiru found Tommy, and Hiro travelled with Sarah. That pairing knew who would find whom. They endured the night with no water. The next morning, Hizo, desperate with thirst, sent Sarah to find water. Jiru reunited with Eren's group. Eren discovered an oasis and rushed toward it while Sarah did something to produce water for Hiro, but their movement was spotted by a reconnaissance bird. After a short distance, Sarah transformed into a monster form and unleashed the experimental results. She attacked both men and dragged Hitso away. The 3 nations had converged, and Hizo was captured. Upon waking, he demanded his sealing stone back, but was restrained. Nambuo revealed he obtained the stone 10 years ago by shooting an arrow at Hiro's father, aiming to exploit the Dark Dragon's power for profit. Hiro's father tried to seal it, but was struck down during a vulnerable moment. Hiro vowed to defeat Nambuo, who turned him into a pawn. Nambuo claimed he found beauty in the destruction wrought by the soul-devouring flame, viewing human lives as mere grass. Hizo charged but was struck down, losing his sword. The villain didn't want to kill him. He intended to use Hizo to manipulate the dark dragon. Meanwhile, Jiru's group searched for Hizo. Tommy asked Eren to use the radio to locate him, but only static and faint voices appeared except Sarah's. They followed the sound to find Sarah tapping on a tree. Jiru explained she was trying to summon the dragon, and sure enough, a dragon descended, clutching Sarah and landing gently. At first, Jiru feared she was being swallowed, but Sarah opened the dragon's mouth, revealing she had asked it to carry them. Bar also recalled the first time meeting Sarah when she was inside the mouth of an earth dragon. The flying dragon soared overhead, terrifying all with its swift flight and fiery blasts from its feet. Meanwhile, Nambu confronted the scientist about preparations. The scientist confirmed the ritual was complete. They would compress magical power into a sphere to summon the dark dragon and use the castle's entire magic to seal and control it. Suddenly, the scientist detected an unusual reaction. Jiru's group noticed the castle resembled the Demon King's fortress. Eren revealed it truly belonged to the Demon King, a legendary figure used to frighten children, though defeated residual magic remained potent. His beauty was a double-edged sword. His survival hinged on a treasure that he believed encapsulated the beauty of destruction. To him, human life was as fleeting as a blade of grass. He so dashed forward only to be struck down, losing his sword. Yet, he didn't wish to eliminate the boy. Instead, he aimed to exploit him. Meanwhile, Jiru and the others were still searching for Hizo. Tommy suggested Eren use the radio to search, but they could only pick up scattered voices until they heard Sarah's voice. They rushed towards her, only to find her tapping on a tree. Jiru explained that it was a signal to attract dragons, and just as predicted, a dragon descended, snatching Sarah and bringing her down to the ground. Initially, Jiru feared she had been swallowed, but Sarah managed to convince the dragon to release her, revealing that she had asked it for help. He recalled their first encounter when Sarah had been in the dragon's maw. The dragon soared through the sky, invoking fear in everyone due to its blistering speed. They worried that it might drop them, given the sheer force with which it flew, flames erupting from its feet. Nambuko then inquired about the professor's preparations. The professor assured him that everything was ready, and soon they would compress magical energy into a sphere to summon the dark dragon, utilizing the castle's residual magic to seal and control it. Suddenly, the professor noticed a strange reaction, and Jiru's group recognized that this castle resembled the Demon Lord's stronghold. Eren chimed in, confirming that it indeed belonged to the Demon Lord, a figure used to frighten children. However, the Demon Lord had been defeated, leaving behind a significant amount of residual magic. Nambuko planned to use this magic to protect the castle. No sooner had he spoken than the dragon was shot a hole. A hole punctured through its wing, causing it to plummet directly to the castle. The guards rushed to investigate, only to find the dragon's lifeless body, while Jiru had managed to escape before being discovered. They struggled to find a way past the dense guard presence, recalling that Eren had previously arrived thanks to a delivery service. At this moment, the professor dashed out to find Sarah, noticing everyone following suit. He opened the door, allowing Sarah to enter just before the teleport gate closed. Back in the research room, the professor lavished praise on his daughter, but no one could believe that someone like him could have a daughter like Sarah. The professor revealed that Sarah was a magical puppet he had created under Nambuko's orders. The others quickly slipped in behind her before the teleport gate sealed shut. Back in the lab, the doctor showered praise on his daughter, though no one believed this man could have a daughter like Sarah. The doctor revealed that Sarah was actually a magical puppet, created under orders from Nambuko. He had long suspected that Sarah never truly ate. He thought she was just picky, but the truth was far stranger. Sarah finally confessed it was because she wasn't human at all. No one had asked Jiru about Namu's purpose in creating Sarah, but the doctor explained that Namu had been present at the sealing of the Dark Dragon 10 years ago. He survived thanks to a relic made from the dragon's blood, which shielded him from the soul-burning flames. From that relic, Namu ordered the doctor to create a warrior who could fight through the soul-consuming fire. But the doctor took a different path, crafting Sarah instead, drawn by beauty and kindness. Nuko hated a weapon that smiled, demanding Sarah be discarded. Yet the doctor could never destroy his masterpiece, so he secretly saved Sarah and let her roam free, where she eventually met Hizo. Hearing Jiru's words, the doctor understood why Sarah had to stay near Hiro, because of the dragon's blood in their veins. Yet it was strange that they weren't together. Now worried for Sarah, he urged her to forget Hiro and run away to a place Nuko could never find. Namu might use Sarah to amplify the summoning of the dark dragon through Hiro, but Sarah's heart was with Hitsu. The doctor wanted to erase her memories of Hitsu, but she refused and ran off to find him. Fearing she'd make a reckless decision, he asked Jiru to watch over Sarah. Palu and Tomi refused, too selfish for such responsibility, but Jiru, bearing the weight of nearly the entire journey, reluctantly agreed. He planned to save Hizo and in doing so rescue Sarah too. Sarah then led the group in a daring search for Hiro. They slipped past countless guards within the castle, finally reaching a colossal magical stone. There they found Hizo held hostage by Nuko and Sari. Nuko demanded Sarah step forward, but she insisted he release Hizo first. He refused, needing both of them as leverage. With no choice, Sarah followed to protect Hizo. Sari then knocked Hizo unconscious and teleported all three to the ancient summoning site while she remained behind to hold off the group. Jiru, Namu and Hizo arrived at the summoning point where the armies of the three nations had gathered. The solar eclipse and blood moon aligned a perfect moment. Namu knew this was the golden hour to summon the dark dragon's return. Sari finally revealed Namu's true plan to fuse all the residual magic from this castle with the armies of the three nations and the dark dragon, creating a beast stronger than anyone could imagine. Sari sealed the mansion in a magic sphere, channeling all the power to the summoning site. But this backfired spectacularly, trapping everyone inside the castle with no escape. She believed Namu wouldn't let her die, but Namu suddenly appeared, announcing that anyone still inside the mansion was doomed. The stakes had never been higher, and the fate of the continent hung by a thread. The stage was set for a final showdown, where alliances, sacrifices, and the very essence of hope would be tested beyond limits. He's about to transform his entire force into magical energy and send it to the summoning site. Yes, he's sacrificing all his subordinates, including Sari. She screamed when the truth hit her. Sari still hoped the magic energy would help her escape, but there was nothing left to cry over. Then the scientist stepped out and revealed that the magic inside had been sealed, making it useless. Yet the scientist was already at the summoning site. It was all just a distraction. The scientist now wanted to stop the magic to save Sari, threatening Nambuo that he'd halt the spell. But Nambuo didn't need him anymore. One move ruined the scientist's breathing apparatus. Nambuo then ordered Sari forward, ready to awaken whatever lay inside her. He could control Sari because she carried a hidden command never to resist his orders. This was just the beginning. He turned Sari into a ruthless weapon and commanded her to fight Hitsu. The moment Hizo called for the dragon's aid, he admitted he didn't want to fight Sari, not because he was unwilling, but because he simply couldn't. Sari's punches hit like thunder, leaving Hizo stunned. Meanwhile, inside the castle, Bar saw Sari's pitiful state, abandoned and forsaken. But pity wouldn't save them. They needed a way out, a hole in the orb to escape. Palu suddenly remembered and called for delivery service, but they couldn't ship them out. So Palu asked if there was any tool to break the orb's wall. There was, but the price was steep. Bar emptied his pockets to pay, with Tommy pitching in a little, but it still wasn't enough. Erin then produced a stash of valuable magic stones. Jiru made a deal with Sari. Once outside, she'd lead them to the summoning ritual. She agreed, wanting only Nambo to spare her. Outside, the delivery service fired a massive cannon to blast a hole through the orb's wall, allowing magic to escape, and Sari to teleport. Back with Hitsu, claws and marks appeared on his hand as the dragon's form slowly took hold. Nambuo believed that if he so fully transformed, the dark dragon would perfect itself and be summoned with overwhelming power. Just then, Jiru's faction arrived and saw the fierce clash. Hizo charged at Sari, only to be pierced by her. Jiru rushed forward, but Sari, like a desperate addict, stubbornly sided with Nambuo, turning to bite Jiru in betrayal. Even in dragon form, Hizo couldn't land a single blow on Sari. Truly useless, no matter how much you buff him, he's still a wreck. Nambuo revelled in seeing these destined rivals tear each other apart, draining each other's life. Sari grabbed Hizo's arm and swung him around mercilessly, while Jiru was held back, unable to intervene. Sari moved in for the final strike. but as blades neared Hizo, the dark dragon emerged to shield its beating heart. I found it ridiculous that the dark dragon appeared, but the other 3 dragon forces were nowhere to be seen. Nambuo had waited 10 years for this moment. He approached the machine and activated it. Columns of light shot up around the summoning area, shining onto the dark dragon. But then, Nambuo changed his mind. He wanted to merge with the dark dragon himself. The overwhelming pressure pushed everything away, leaving only Nambuo in his dragon armor. He relished having the power and strength of the continent's mightiest entity. Then, he grabbed Hizo, pulling him up to pummel his face repeatedly until he passed out. In his dazed state, Hizo wasn't the billionaire he once was. Instead, he saw his parents, who told him, "Son, there's still something you must do." Breaking free from the chains on his hand, he leapt into battle against Nambuo. Hizo had begun to control this form somewhat, but his skill was still lacking. After taking a blow from Nambuo, he hit the ground hard. Meanwhile, Eren forced the scientist to reveal how to stop the chaos. The scientist explained they needed 3 people to simultaneously stop the magic flow and dismantle the sealing artifact. Sari awoke to find Hizo's sword nearby, ready to act. The scientist feared time was running out as Nambuo prepared to unleash his devastating soulfire. Thankfully, the scientist, along with Tommy and Eren, reversed the magic and broke the 3 magic centers. They succeeded in reclaiming the sealing stone. But it was too late. Nambuo remained merged with the dark dragon and controlled the soul fire, which erupted, engulfing everything around. But Sari summoned all her strength to protect everyone. Seeing this, Nambuo charged to finish her off, declaring it a mistake to let her live this long. Hizo, losing his will to retreat, drew his sword and slashed Nambuo's hand, shocking him. Then Hizo plunged his sword straight into Nambuo's heart. Nambuo couldn't fathom how he was injured. Hizo only said he was a swordsman and finally proved his worth. Though the boss's death felt anticlimactic and silly, with Nambuo's fall, the dark dragon separated. Hizo tried a last-ditch move, stabbing the dark dragon's heart to unite with it forever. But something in his teacher's words stopped him. He grabbed the sealing artifact from Tommy, drew a real sword from it, and struck the mark on the dark dragon's body, pulling out his own heart. Jiru urged him to switch back, but Hizo gave his heart to Sari, reviving her. The dark dragon's body vanished. Wait, was that it? The heart remained untouched and intact. Then, the other 3 rushed to seize the artifact, but it slipped and shattered. Jiru believed that, with the dark dragon defeated, his duty ended. Hizo's feat was due to his untapped immense magic power. Sari woke and asked about the scientist, but he had passed protecting her. Now, with feelings awakened, she shed tears of grief. The 3 nations' armies withdrew after Eren informed them that Nambuo had deliberately provoked the war. Nobody wanted conflict. But Jiru worried the kings might reignite war eventually. In a bid for the treasure, he dropped the artifact, shattering it. Jiru believed that once the dark dragon was defeated, his duty would also be fulfilled. Hizo's recent achievements were attributed to his immense magical power, which he had yet to fully harness. At that moment, Sarah awoke and inquired about the professor, but he had departed to protect her. Now filled with emotions, she began to weep for him, while the soldiers from 3 nations retreated. After Eren informed them that Nambuko had deliberately incited war, prompting their withdrawal, as no one desired conflict. However, Jiru worried that the kings of the 3 nations might still ignite war sooner or later. Just then, the service arrived to collect debts, seeing everyone still alive and well. Sarah discovered a new pathway, accompanied by the soldiers, who had once followed her, resolved to continue their journey together. Peace had returned, and they built a grave for the professor, though Palu still felt unsettled about the dark dragon's heart being left intact. As for Hizo, he pondered how it could truly be dead. Indeed, they would continue their adventure. Hizo handed the badge to Tomi, who expressed a desire to return home, worried about his friends. But to go